presidential candidate Dr. Ekuru court is asking the IEBC to disqualify both President Uhuru Kenyatta and NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga from the August race, saying they have engaged in behavior contrary to the Elections Act. Here's his address made just a few minutes ago.
Now, this is a press release touching on the IEBC ballot paper tender. Our attention has been drawn to the apparent unpreparedness of IEBC in conducting the 8th August election 2017. The stories coming out of the local media indicate that non-presidential candidates, specifically President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, have influenced the choice of firms to print ballot papers, and this has become a war between them that seeks to compromise this election. It is coming out that both Jubilee and NASA formations have attempted to influence the tender, which is an electoral offense as per the code of conduct signed by all aspirants. This has created schism in the conduct of the upcoming election as it affects the credibility of the election generally. As you are aware, our country has a history of shambolic, disorganized, and otherwise rigged elections. The same fear has now gripped the country, and people are scared that the upcoming election will turn out to be like the 2007-2008 one. We squarely put the blame on the two individuals, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, and IEBC for proceeding to award the tender to a firm already connected, so closely connected to one of the candidates, being Uhuru Kenyatta. This actually makes IEBC complicit in what may happen in this election. You know, the world is watching us right now as a country. The New York Times on May 9th, 2017, carried an article citing a breakthrough technology in Kenya, where government is now selling bonds and households, managing to break above poverty lines through increased trade and through local innovations such as M-Pesa. The Washington Post also carried a sensational editorial depicting a specter of political violence looming in the upcoming election, precipitated by a seemingly lack of consensus between Kenyan political players on a simple component of just printing ballot papers. This Washington Post actual wordings is that Kenya will require, and I quote, Kenya will require a quick and transparent vote count by the electoral authorities to save us from a painful experience if the leaders fail to act responsibly. I mean, this is not rocket science. Violence has been predicted in the past in many countries by international community, and Kenya is not an exception to that. Third Way Alliance, therefore, wonders how we can be innovators in technology but fail to undertake a simple task such as printing of ballot papers in a reliable process embraced by all political players. It's ridiculous to celebrate our innovation in technology, and we cannot even agree on printing of simple ballot papers. Corruption in Kenya has reached an epidemic proportion to an extent of destroying our country. We only become sovereign when it is about interests of fat cats, especially political fat cats. Third Way Alliance is aligned to Washington Post conclusion that something ought to be done quickly to avert our country sinking into the abyss that always follows an election which involves an incumbent, as has been witnessed since 1992, 1997, 2007, and now likely to recur in 2017. And let me